balance, okay? The middle ground. And what comes in to indicate that here is we have the Two of Cups. Okay, and the Two of Cups is like harmony, friendship, mutual trust, admiration, and really, this is a very strong soulmate connection, okay? Where you can get mad at each other, you can hate each other, but deep down, you really care about each other, okay? They care about your well-being, you care about their well-being. And so this is a really strong spiritual connection that can't be broken. And I usually look at this card and I think of it as reciprocity, okay? You always want to do right by the other person no matter what, and they likewise want to do right by you. So even if they're upset, they're still going to call you and express their concern. Even if you're upset with them, if they had a bad day, you're still going to want to, coax them out of their, I guess, like their depression, okay? So I do feel as well, there's definitely a mutual energy of compromise. For those of you who have been in a situation where there has been like physical distance, emotional distance, blockage in communication, I definitely feel communication is coming in with this Fool card. This is somebody who, so let's look at the depiction of it, okay? It reminds me of the Rider-Waite deck because of the way it's drawn, okay? Somebody's about to take a leap of faith. There's a dog here, okay? And he's traveling light. He wants to shed the baggage. I almost feel like somebody is giving up a lot in order to be with you. They're shedding the baggage, okay? So what I'm seeing here, this is a king, okay? He's got the crown on. And for him to travel light, be a pauper, and, wear like normal civilian clothes, I feel like he's had to, purge his lifestyle, his wardrobe, whatever it is. And, for cross watchers, whatever gender you are, this can be very well be a she. But what I'm feeling is somebody who's used to a specific certain lifestyle is willing to forego all of this in order to be with you. And they're taking a major risk. And because they're taking such a big risk, they want to know whether or not you're going to be around once they take this risk, okay? The birds, right? Like the eagles or whatever birds that you have, they land and then they take off, okay? So somebody might be thinking that you're a little bit unpredictable, you're a little bit flighty, and it leads me to believe that this person might not know you very well, okay? That's why they think that, because, deep down, Aquarius is a fixed sign. One of our ancient rulers is Saturn, and Saturn deals with structure, discipline, and it deals with, the whole fixity of like having Saturn as your ruler. And I mentioned this maybe like 2 months ago. When you say you're going to do something, and once your heart and your mind is committed to doing it, you will get it done. And once you tell somebody you're going to do something, you're going to follow through because you're a fixed sign, okay? It's like follow through or die trying. So I feel almost like you're not worried about whether or not you're going to be there. You know you're going to be there. The other person doesn't know that. And I feel like they might be projecting, I feel like you might not be dealing with another fixed sign. They might be projecting onto you, and they might feel like, I can change my mind. What if the Aquarius person changed theirs? So I feel like they're projecting energies or insecurities about themselves onto you, thinking you're not going to be around, thinking that you're going to be here today, gone tomorrow, thinking that, they can like scrap away this way of life or everything that they're used to having to be with you. And the scale have tipped. Okay, they've got a lot to lose, okay? And this is the Justice card, by the way. And they're hoping that if I take this leap of faith, will the Aquarius person be there to receive me, like physically receive me? And I feel like they're not sure. They're not sure your commitment level. They're not sure whatever else you have going in your life. They're not sure how their life is going to, mesh in with your life. And all the while you're thinking, I feel like you're waiting on this person. And all the while you're feeling Two of Cups. This is an intertwined energy, okay? It's like no matter what, we'll make it work. We'll kind of like intertwine our lives, intertwine our finances. We'll make do, because for you, it's like the commitment is there, and what I'm telling you, or what you're telling your person, is that I'm here for the long haul, and you need to overcome your own projections in order to accept what I'm saying at face value. So I feel like with this, eagle eye and this hawk like energy is very fast, is very swift, and it's very, very deliberate. Whereas with this Fool and King of Wands energy is that it's very passionate. It strikes, but then I feel like it burns out. So you might be dealing with somebody who is not as fixed in their energy as you are, who is not as decisive, who is not as quick to execute a plan. Okay, so like they might take a lot of time to mull things over before they execute or make a decision. So I do sense in this situation they're kind of weighing things out, and if they're taking too long, there might be something coming in the interim to take their place. And I do feel like you might have another situation, kind of like tipping the scale. Okay, somebody's like, the scale is being tipped in somebody else's favor because this person might be taking too long. Okay? I mean, as much as, as committed as you are, if you're not getting the reciprocity, I do feel like, your attention can turn elsewhere if the other person is not reciprocating. Okay, so I do feel a situation here where someone has really taken their sweet time. They're waiting. I almost feel like this sense of entitlement coming through, like all the energy is shifting this way. And I'm feeling almost like a sense of entitlement. It's like, I'm the king. You should, be at my beck and call. You should come to me with the, what are those things where, the word just slipped my mind. It's like pay royalties, pay dues, pay homage to. You should come to me. So I feel like somebody is doing this, and they're getting very, very impatient. They're getting very antsy, and they're thinking about approaching you, but like they're not really sure how they're going to be received because you're kind of starting to turn away. Okay, do you see this? How her body is turned? It's looking straight at her, but her body is starting to turn. It's almost like, I'm done fetching, the water from this reservoir. I'm getting up and, I'm walking away. So I do see a situation here where somebody might have taken too long, or taking really their sweet time, or, feeling the sense of entitlement. And, I do sense in general, Aquarius people don't like it when other people make themselves out to be the middle of attention, like, the center of attention. And they expect everybody else to be at their beck and call. I feel like Aquarius people hate that sense of entitlement, that sense of like, the world should revolve around me. Okay. I feel like when you deal with people like that, you purposely don't give them the time of day, mainly just to spite them. And so you feel like there's somebody here where it's like they have this false sense of entitlement. And then I'm also sensing a situation where you're very much, I feel like these two cards are very similar. We have here the King of Wands and the Judgment card, wanting to make communication, wanting contact. For some of you, you're dealing with somebody who might be, like a big deal in their world. Okay, so they might like be very popular. They might have a lot of friends. They might have like their professional life. They're like oh my gosh, all my vocabulary just slipped out of my mind. So they're they're a force to be reckoned with in their world, okay? In their professional life, they might be high up there. In their social circle, they might be somebody that exhibits, that has like either like a really high social ranking, somebody who manages other people, somebody who a lot of people look up to, somebody with a lot of fame, with a lot of fortune, with, I'm seeing somebody who's very well off, who's very wealthy, who is. So what I'm feeling with this King of Wands and this Judgment card is it's somebody who is very well respected. Okay. They have a lot to lose. But at the same time, I feel like with this egg, they're very, very vulnerable. Okay. Once you crack that shell, and the shell is very, very fragile. Once you crack that shell, there's that, slippery, gooey, yolk and inside of it. So I do feel like you're dealing with someone who's not hard to crack, who's very vulnerable. So they might put on the air that they're very, very domineering or overpowering or very, very strong. And, they take up a lot of space. They take up a lot of room. They have like, a big persona, maybe a big ego. But I do feel that they're very soft inside and they need to be handled with kitty gloves. And they might need a lot of ego stroking. They might need a lot of reassurance and a lot of certainty. I feel like they're looking for some type of a certainty from you, some type of an assurance, some type of a promise, some type of a compromise coming in from your end to make them feel at ease, okay? And then the way that you're coming across to this person, we have the star and the sun. Once again, you're getting yourself up there. You're climbing that ladder. It could be a corporate ladder. You're doing things in a very, I want to say like laid back manner, and you're achieving the same results. Okay, so I feel like they see you with the star and the sun. It's somebody who attracts attention in a very quiet way, okay? Your inner strength, your quiet demeanor, the way you keep to yourself, the way you carry yourself. It's not all pomp and circumstance. It's very quiet. It's very soft, but it's very effective, okay? The strength and the charisma that you have, it's very underrated. And this is the first time the other person has come across somebody like you, because I feel like it's soft with the star card. The light of the star, it twinkles, right? It catches your eyes. It catches your attention. And with the sun, it's very warm. Okay, so I definitely feel like their world is a little bit cutthroat and hard. Your world is very spiritual and soft and warm. And they don't get that. They don't understand how that can be. How can, you climb that corporate ladder without being cutthroat? It's because you have skills, Aquarius. And then they're wondering, how can you achieve so much in such a short amount of time? And it's because you're smart, Aquarius. So I feel like they're very, very perplexed by you. They're in sheer admiration of you. And this is the first time where I keep seeing this. They're thrown off kilter, okay? The tipping scale, the tipping point. They're thrown off kilter. It's a very delicate balance for them to achieve everything in their life, their emotional stability, as well as their financial stability. And it takes very, very little to like tip things from one side to the next. And I feel like you're that tipping point for them. They can't wrap their head around it. They're very, very perplexed. But I also feel like this person wants to be where you are and bask in the warmth and the spiritual life that you've created for yourself. And I feel a lot of it hinges upon you being, being you, doing your own thing, being very, very independent, dancing and walking and running to the beat of your own drums, okay? Not having to not having to bend to the beck and call for anybody, okay? Having your vision and sticking to it and doing things in a very detached but also in a very smart manner. I feel like they're emotionally, they could be easily wound up. They're very passionate, is what it seems like to me. And they can be very wound up. And I feel like the way you are, and this is something a lot of people complain about, but I feel like it's working to your benefit. You're very detached and sharp, and you don't get, you look at things very objectively. So even if you like a person, if they display flaws, you are in a position where you can call them out on it. Okay, it doesn't diminish the love that you feel for them. It just means that you're not looking through at life through like blinders. Okay, so I feel like they're just very perplexed. And I also feel a situation where, the way you interact with this person is very, like, at the beginning, they could come at you very passionately, and you've kept your distance, and you're just like, wait a minute, that's a little bit too intense and a little bit too much. And then you kind of detach, and then now they're thinking, maybe the Aquarius doesn't like me, and that's why they're thinking that the ball's in your court to make the next move if you're interested. So they have significantly backed off. And I feel like if you're dealing with a person like this, what it's saying is give them the sign, and in a heartbeat, they'll run towards you. Okay, in a heartbeat. That's a cool image, in a heartbeat. So that's what I'm sensing here. Aside from that, there is another message. Give me one moment, okay? So I feel like for many of you, there might be something very lucrative coming in. So I keep seeing, so when I was looking at this balancing scale, I felt like there might have been a giant pentacle dropped. It seems like there's a giant pentacle drop down, like on this side, and it weighs everything down. So what I feel is some of you might have just, created a really good life for yourself. So for example, just an example, which might apply actually to many of you. You've cultivated a life for yourself, a social circle, like a routine, whatever it is. You're comfortable where you are, okay? And I feel like there's a job beckoning you to move further away. And it's a wonderful new opportunity. And so you're kind of like trying to figure out, should I stay here where I'm really comfortable? And I feel like this is not, it's comfortable, but it's not stagnant. So it's good to stay in because, you on the one hand, you crave the excitement.